Ladies and gentlemen, just walked into the room. Allow me to make this introduction for somebody that I consider a true friend. I've known this brother for a number of years, at least 8 years I've known this man. And to see his transition of attaining so much success, going from just stand-up comedy to being a trained classical dancer, to being on tour with Tucker, to being one of the best embodiers, not impressionists, embodiers, to now being a superstar in movies and television. His own show is on right now on HBO. It's called Ballers. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome me with a big round of applause, London Brown. Make some noise!
That was cool, man.
You felt that?
You probably should have your own radio show.
I think that's pretty good.
I think you forgot that also, can we throw in like a really dope photographer?
Oh my God, how can I forget that when he took my headshots before? I'm tripping.
He took my headshots too.
He's amazing.
He was taking everybody's headshots.
What can't you do is what we need to know, bro.
Give up.
I love the answer.
That's it, man.
So let's talk about how late you are. Let's get that out of the way.
Good.
You come in fly as always. Gotta love that. Sunglasses. This dude is the epitome of style. You got all the white girls looking at you, and he's trying not to look the white girls in the eye. He's trying his best not to look these white women in the eye. Omar, get his face, not look at these white women.
Sometimes you want to come in and look people right in the eye. You just got to warm up and feel out what's going on. And I don't know if they're in the show or not in the show. And so I'm just feeling people out.
That is a fact.
I have to see him without the sunglasses.
Oh, you definitely, you'll get a chance maybe at a comedy show, because he cannot hide the eyes on stage.
It don't matter. Once you smell London, it's going to be over. London is probably one of the best smelling comics in the game, hands down. He knows it. He throws on and he'll never tell you a secret. Like, London, what you wearing? I can't tell you that.
I just, because all these things, all these ideas help to bring a level of comfort. Just say, the way I am, the way I dress, I want to feel comfortable. If I'm busy on stage anywhere and I'm uncomfortable in what I have on, now I can't be present with you because I'm in my head about what I got going on. If I smell bad, I really can't be comfortable around you because I'm self-conscious, and all this stuff goes back to just making sure that on the inside I'm comfortable so I can be as present as I can be with anyone I interact with. That's all.
I love it.
That's all.
Now let me hit you with the question of the day, London, because things have been going crazy around here, man. Question of the day. The question of the day. How would you feel? Would you be okay with a friend sleeping with someone you've dated? Would you be okay with a friend sleeping with somebody you dated?
Would I be okay? It just depends on the level. If I've dated, so when I'm thinking about dating, I'm guessing actual, like we probably spend some time during the day. Because that's a different kind of, if it's after 12, that's different. But if I hung out with this woman during the day, my friend wanted to, if I hung out with her during the day, then I probably actually liked her. So then, he would have to see me about that. I don't.
But y'all don't date anymore.
We don't date anymore. Yeah, but if it's one of my homies, yeah.
Now here's the difference though, London. I've said that it cannot have been your girlfriend or the friend, you know what I mean? Like, this hasn't been a relationship. This is just the girl you dated, like smashed, and now the homie is like, hey, I'm trying to get a baby girl. That's what I'm saying. This isn't like, my 8-year-long relationship, and I loved her, and now he comes up, hey man, I know you was in love in the game.
No spending of quality time, just like straight smashing, like, I see you when I see you, like, I don't really got to text or call you like that, but when we come through, you know what it is.
So if it was like I said, if that was a chick that I used to date, and if it's more so on her, if she felt like that was okay, she'd really be cut off for me. I don't really do that. I'd be like, it's total. It's not a control thing. She can do whatever she wants to do. But if she thought that was cool, and he told me like, I'm like, go ahead. I mean, I'm not. She's not mine anyway. So I just would she just lose points.
Would you still be cool with your friend though?
Yeah, I'd be cool with that.
What has been your journey to where you are right now?
Dude, honestly, if I were to really put it all in perspective, everything has kind of been leading up to this, from the first time I did a play in church to, when in high school, I was going to get a key because I played I play keys a little bit. So
You also play keys?
Play
Motherfucker is a
keys.
genius.
so I thought in high school I was like, yo, I'm gonna take up. I saw a keyboard class which I thought was piano, but it really was like computers. They said, yo, the class is full, so we got this drama class. I was like, all right, try the drama class. And so from that and during the plays and the musicals in high school, all of that kind of stuff I felt has played a part into now. So I don't take any of it for granted. Because doing theater is where I found out, like, oh, after high school I thought I wanted to only do acting because of the plays I did. So I felt like the titillation that I got from doing theater only was from stage or from acting. Then I realized it's not so much acting, but it's on stage, which was the connecting idea to stand-up. I was like, oh, stand-up is this. I get the same energy from doing stand-up as opposed to a cast of 12. It's just me. So stand-up actually is like acting, one-man play. Oh shoot, okay. So I get to get this feeling that I get from theater every night whenever I want to. Okay, boom. But with my stand-up and how I, tell the story and go about it, that comes from the training that I get from acting. Like I only know to share the stories and go into a voice, not because I'm trying to go into a voice, but that's in my proclivity from the acting side.
It's about the same.
So he's stupid. No, I don't mean to be verbose about this.
Oh!
Somebody pull out the Google.
No, but I didn't know that, they all kind of work together. So for my style and being, it all just, I'm an artsy dude. I don't know what I would do without the arts. I've tried to have a regular job, worked at a cleaner's. This cleaner's so dope and everything else.
Like paid in full.
Full on, the whole thing. It's only God and somebody praying that it didn't get raided, because I should have been. Yeah, I've had all kind of weird jobs, man. So, but anyway, fortunately, it all comes, full circle to this. So, as far as the journey, it's just been, it's been a process, because each thing feels like it's connected to the next thing.
Let me give you guys a bit more insight on London Brown. Because a lot of people, they see you in your films, they see you on TV, they see you on the gram, and it's like, oh, this may be overnight. This guy went on an audition. And let me tell you something about London Brown. When I met this brother was killing stages on some, I've been doing comedy for a couple of months type shit, number one. Always put number one, 1,000% into his performances. He also volunteered at a high school with these children. For how many years were you teaching them dance and just mentoring these kids?
Dude, I did that for about 15,
What?
16 some years. Dude.
What?
I was in there for a long. I was in there so long. I had filmed. If you don't know, I worked on this TV show called The Hustle. Shout out to Princess Penny and that cast and everybody with that. But yeah, so I had filmed that and I was still teaching. People were like, what you still doing here? I was like, you got to work till you ain't on until you own. So
Until you own.
I was doing that. I was on tour with Chris at the time, and I was like, what are you doing here? I was like, yo, it ain't time.
It ain't time.
It ain't time.
Now, here, let's back up, man, because I can't just let you gloss over the Chris Tucker tour thing. Now, I feel like this historian on London Brown, because I've seen from the beginning, well, not the beginning of his career, but the beginning of when I began to see him. London has always done these embodiments. When you see comedians do impressions, you see them do like, oh yeah, here's Eddie Murphy, Hank Lee, all of that shit, right? And they just do something that everybody knows is popular, maybe a catchphrase, and that's how it is. London becomes these people, and that's how I knew that he was an amazing actor. When you embody somebody, you're not doing the catchphrases. It's actually quite the opposite. What you're doing is you're grabbing how maybe they pierce their lips, or how they say certain words, or how they are in regular conversation, not just the hits. And he began doing Paul Mooney, he was doing Chris Tucker, and he started doing his original characters. And he's like, man, I'm just a huge Chris Tucker fan, man. Always wanted to meet this guy. I don't know how long it ended up taking, but by chance, you end up going on tour with Chris Tucker. Tell me about it.
Dude, and going back to your other question, again, because of my training from acting, is how the embodiment plays in, as opposed to just a voice. That's why I think my voices are different, because I don't do a lot, but the ones I do, I'm a real fan of. So basically with the Chris Tucker story, I had just did an open mic. I did Marty's here in LA. I do Marty's. Brandon Lewis was going to go perform at the Hollywood Improv for the first time. I said, yo, let me go over there and support his first night over there. Because y'all know, you do a new room or you coming in early to the thing, that's a big deal to do certain key rooms. So I said, no, we'll go over to support him. I go support him. He does a set. Spike said, Spike runs improv. Spike said, or used to run improv. Spike says, or used to run more better over there. It's a whole story, y'all. I'm sorry, I can't go into here. So Spike says, yo, where you going? I said, well, I saw Brandon perform. I'm in, because I really still don't really quite like to do much hanging out unless it's with solid people and we really rap.
Yeah.
So I was like, yo, I'm about to head in. He said, you need to stick around and hang out. You always leave. And I was like, well, I don't want to hang out. He said, well, Chris Tucker here. I said, well, I've met him before. He said, no, you need to watch. I was like, all right. So it was like 3 times of going back and forth. So I'm in the back of the club. D-Ray's hosting. D-Ray says, has he seen you perform yet? I was like, nah. He said, he ought to see you. I said, well, you working out. So Chris Tucker's in the middle of a joke. D-Ray says, hey, Chris Tucker, who inspired you? He said, Richard Pryor, Eddie Murphy, and Martin, and some other people. He said, yo, you inspired this kid, talking to me. So D-Ray grabs me by the arm, and he pushes me onto the stage with Chris. So I stumble up there. And
This is during the show?
This is during the show. So I'm up there with Chris. Chris, I hadn't seen you before, but whenever you got your 5 minutes, I'll watch you when you do it. Because it's 2 different Chris's. Like, there's the movie, I'm turning on Chris, and then there's this conversational guy. So I was with the conversational Chris. I go up there, did whatever my 5 minutes was. We exchanged numbers, and then it was just like a month later, somebody said, got a couple dates. Let me know, fly you out, and we'll try you out. I said, all right. And it was kind of like that, and we started hitting the road, dude. And that was a cool thing, man, because that also, he taught me a lot of stuff, not even so much on stage, but a lot of stuff off stage. Like, he was always cool to tip. And as far as dressing, this is what I did. The first show we had was probably in Chicago somewhere. And I came, some Jordans, cool t-shirt, which is cool depending on who you're working with.
Absolutely.
But when I seen this dude come out the dressing room with these like diamond like studded dress shoes, like they were like sparkling black, and he just looked like a star. I was like, dang. Jacket glittery, so when the lights hit it, the dude looked like a star. Out, regardless if y'all ain't seen him on Nothing Since Nothing, when he hit the stage and that smoke and the silhouette, I was like, dang, he looked like a star. Yeah. And I'm looking at my little Urban Outfitters jacket. I was like, man, I said I can't be standing next to him. Now I look like, quote unquote, the opener. Nothing wrong with the opener, because I've been an opener and I know, but I was like, dude, I don't want to look like I'm just the first act. Yeah. I was like, man, but so since then, that's when I started, at least for shows with him, I was like, yo, I need to really just, not even if it's not in the tie, but I just need to just get more casual. And because I just noticed the energy is different for him now. Of course, if we all doing a college show, we're doing a college show, is whatever. But next to somebody like that, I was like, man, and stuff like that always, London, stay humble, keep God first, and stay in the clubs. That's always, keep God first, stay humble, stay in the clubs. Yeah. And so that also, I think, is kind of what generated this whole focus thing, because I used to get it so much from him of just, I was like, yeah, I need to do that. And to not, go off into this, but the reason I even go into saying I'm always pushing focus, because we have to really speak to ourselves in a way so it's embedded, it's what we do. Because I think a lot of times people they be saying stuff, and the mind must bring forth that which occupies it. So if we are focused on just, people are always talking about being broke. If you talk about being broke, you're gonna stay broke. Facts. It's the same. I apply this to anything. I've always done it. Even when it would come to like dating, I was never interested if the girl if I was her type, if she liked me. If I liked her, then that's what I really don't date guys with, they gotta have blonde hair. I don't focus on none of that. What's the end goal? The end goal is I need to go to dinner with her, get her number, whatever that is. Whether that means even on the road, whatever it is, like, I just need to focus on that, and then anything else I negate.
Nice. Let me tell you something, man. This brother, first of all, this brother is so well spoken. This brother knows exactly what he wants. He's so focused, he's so driven. And I don't know if y'all paid attention, but these white girls want to throw this thing at him. I don't know.
I already said
They looking at him.
You stupid.
He's not gonna turn back.
He's not going to turn back.
No, the whole
We got to take a quick break. We'll be right back after. So now I want to jump straight to London Brown. You're here. You've been doing it. You told us about the Chris Tucker story. You told us about how you pretty much got the transition from mentoring the youth to your stand-up comedy to getting into acting. Tell me how the Fuse show happened, and tell me how Ballers came about.
The Fuse, at the time I had an agent, and they called, they said, yo, we got this script, this new project for Fuse coming out. I was like, all right, bet. So I read it and went to go audition for it. I went in to read it because the writing was just very natural. So I was like, cool, it has a nice flow. And so that was created by the showrunner of now Insecure. His name is Prentice Penny. Prentice Penny was also a writer for Girlfriends and a lot of other shows. But so he was just, his whole idea with that casting was, who also booked Alon Noel, who's on Insecure, I think it's Daniel, Erica Dixon, Clinton Lowe. But the thing that made that one special is because he cast us because no one knew us. Because his thought was, if we're going to get people to buy into the story of these 4 young people hustling their way through the industry, it wasn't going to work well if they can catch us starring in some other film. They weren't going to believe the hustle of it. So, no pun intended. So,
I was just thinking it.
Yeah, I know. So that was special, man, because he didn't have to do that. Y'all know Hollywood don't be liking to take chances on new faces and all that other kind of stuff. So it's cool that I'm very loyal to that because I just know what that is. When I booked Ballers, I wasn't on tour with Chris anymore. I think Chris had stopped touring for a second, and I didn't have an agent. Let me tell you this story. So at the time, when I got my first agent, they wanted me to go out and go do a beer commercial. I was like, nah, I don't want to do that. It's like, London, you got it. Wait, hold on, where's the fourth? Like, London, you really should be going. It's something you should be. It's a nationwide commercial. I was like, yo, dude, I don't really want to do that. I don't have no problem with drinking or the illusion of that on a show, but I wasn't trying to be an advocate and push it because now, keep in mind, I'm still working with the kids and the after-school program. My stepfather's serious alcoholic. I know what alcohol does. It tears a family up. So I'm like, yo, I want to push it. He got real bit out of shape to the point where he said, you know what, London, you should be lucky we even want to represent you.
Woo!
Right? Wow. I said, yo, I was like, yo, that didn't feel good. That don't know where the spirit was with that. So at the time, I hit Chris, and I just told him what the breakdown was. He was like, no, they got to get out of there. I was like, yeah, I know. I said, how do I do it? So basically, I just wrote them a one sentence email. Thank you for your services. They're no longer needed.
Nice.
Cut ties. That was done. And then maybe a few months later, I got a call about Ballers, and I went into audition for that. And I really don't know still how they found me. Chris Spencer hit me. He said, yo, they looking for you. I was like, all right. He said, have you auditioned? I said, no. He said, well, I'm gonna send him give me information, or I email it over. And I went in. At the time, I was actually choreographing a project, and I was hoarse. And I went to go do the audition, and my voice was so gone. I told him, I said, yo, man, if you can't understand me, just let me know. I'll come back with some tea. But it worked out. And I did that, had a bunch of callbacks. That process lasted about 2 months, which is the longest.
Ooh, wow.
I know, right? I was like, yeah, that's a long time. But they got quiet on me at one point. But what I did do is, and not to get deep, but I did keep the faith. I was just like, man, I gotta book this, man. And but still staying in the club, still staying, so that was encouraging, and I think I was allowed to get that so that I could share this story like on a platform such as this, which is, you know, sometimes it's not always by the format of whatever. It's not. I didn't have an agent for that, so I know their agents like, yo, we got to get this, and once I get the agent, I get the manager, and it's gonna book. Sometimes it don't be like that. It's just, you know, with the Chris Tucker thing, it was just kind of. It just kind of worked out. It was almost serendipitous how that worked out. I was right there because I could have left.
Yeah.
Spike said stay. I could have
left.
A lot of stuff could have been. The apprentice could have said, "Yo, we need a star power to lead the show."
Yeah.
He didn't do so. I have a lot of things that aren't necessarily by, you know, by the route of the root of things. But that's why, you know, God would tell us we should have like childlike faith. Yeah. What is that? When children ask you for things, they don't ask you to say, "Yo, I want a bike." They're not asking how many extra hours of work you got to do. They don't care about if all your bills are paid. They just say, "I want a bike." But the magical part or the majestical part about that is after they ask, they just expect it.
Oh yeah.
So that's what. Right now, I work in anticipation. I just feel like something's coming. I don't know what, but I'm gonna just.
Let me tell you something.
I feel like
Number
running
one,
just rejuvenated my life.
Absolutely. London Brown, I gotta tell you, I appreciate you saying that because I needed to hear that. I want more of the detail. Ladies and gentlemen, we got a caller on the line. Who am I talking to? You kicking it with Clayton?
Kelly.
Hey Kelly, what's going on now? You got any question for my man London Brizown?
As a comedian, I was wondering how important do you think keeping like the connection when you're doing stand-up is? Like you said, you don't like to really hang out like that. Like now that you've been doing it for so long, like do you still feel that way?
Well, I don't like to hang out or do anything that isn't progressive. So even with the people that are around me, they have to. I like to hang out with people that are ideally not the same age as me. People who are necessarily may not speak the same language, come from where I come from, because you grow that way. So, you know, the fact that even when I came in, I had a bunch of questions for Clayton. Came into comedy,
I remember that.
and so I used to just like pick his brain. Now I'm older than Clayton, but I still understand that Clayton's been doing it longer. So even I think sometimes also, not to go off, but sometimes younger comedians don't respect older comedians because they feel like they're not a big deal. But they still been doing it longer. Experience is still key.
Yeah.
And so for me, after the club, I got a video of me, Clayton, and Alfonso. It's 3, 4 in the morning, and the conversation just never got old.
Yeah.
We had done the show. Clayton didn't even do the show. He pulled up on us. Alfonso, I think we both did a little time, we worked out, but it's 3 in the morning, just talking about the life, comedy, life outside of comedy. So that connection, if it's progressive like that, I'm all for it. But just to be really chilling, I'm an introvert, I think.
And I'll tell you this, Kelly. As a matter of fact, how long have you been doing stand-up?
I just started like maybe a month ago.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you this. What London said worked perfectly for London because London has been damn near 10 years in it now. Let me tell you something. As a new comedian, your job is to stay in that comedy club until everybody's gone, comedians and audience.
Yeah.
Because you learn more at the end of a comedy show from your fellow comedians than you will just on that stage or in front of an audience. So make as many connections as you can, network with people, get everybody's phone number, have conversations. I remember when London started, he would call me and ask me a million questions about comedy, and I love talking about comedy, and we would just chop it up. And I always knew he had it because he was very funny. And I'm like, oh man, keep doing this. Make sure you add that and just have fun. The overall goal is to have fun on stage. If you're not having fun, the crowd won't have fun with you. I wish you the best, sweetheart. Thank you so much for calling in.
Can I just piggyback what you said earlier?
Absolutely.
Because I've been doing stand-up for 7 years. It'll be 8 years in March.
Amazing. Congrats.
And thank you. And when I first moved to LA, one of the first people I actually connected with was London. And London was one of the people who actually sat down and told me like how to break down my jokes, how to set up my premises, and like literally drew a diagram.
That's huge.
So he gave me like a blueprint, like this is how you should do it. Like if this, I'm just giving you a template.
Yeah.
And then so whatever you did for him, kind of like trickle down. And I wish more comedians would do that as far as like, you know, helping out and supporting and like
Wait, Clayton Thomas, I got Lulu, I got KP, I got the ladies, I got my man Omar, I got the amazing, incomparable London Brown, and we have some ladies on the microphone I'd like to introduce right now. Let me hear your name and what's your IG?
Hey y'all, I'm Maddie, at Maddie Robinson. Some really high quality ass pics on there.
Are you saying high quality ass pics or high quality ass pics?
They're low quality photographs of high quality ass. No, I'm kidding.
That's how you do it.
Go there.
That's how you do it.
And my name is Courtney Hangy, and my Instagram name is just my name, Courtney
Alright.
Hangy.
Courtney Hangy.
HANGGI. No one ever knows how to say it though.
No, she look like a girl from Get Out.
Oh yeah,
Really?
and mine's Maddie Robinson with a Y.
Nice. I don't know, a girl named Courtney Hangy, that does not sound like she should date black guys. Let me know your name. And what is your IG?
Hey guys, I'm Brenna Black, and my IG is Brenna Black. That's BRENNAH Black, like the color.
Goddamn right.
Yeah,
And
My name is Meg Dick, and my Instagram is Meg S Dick, because my middle name is Sages, so it's Meg's Dick.
yeah. And you know, very interestingly, let's talk about the elephant in the room. Number one, when you go to Meg's IG page, it's Meg's Dick. And you're like, wait a minute, is this a girl I'm following? Or is this one of those guys?
I get so many dick pics.
I can
It
imagine.
would be so,
Hey, look at Darren's dick type thing. Also, Meg comes from comedy royalty. Her whole family, I'm very good friends with one of her brothers who's a comedian, and her father is the Andy Dick. How does it feel in comedy? Do you get compared? Do you always get the, hey, can I meet your dad or anything?
Honestly, it's kind of negative what I get.
Really? What do you
Yeah.
get?
Why?
Just his background, you know. His background's really it's intense. So most people feel bad for me. That's what I get a lot. Like, oh, I'm so sorry.
Do you get sympathy then?
I mean, I don't know if it's sympathy or
I would reel
Yeah.
it in.
just soak it in, soak it in. But no, he's a great dude. I love him.
I
You
met
know,
him, and he was great.
he's
I'm a
he's
fan.
an amazing guy.
Yeah, he was.
People don't
What you
see
see?
that side of him, which sucks.
I'm a fan of news radio, so I've definitely always been, oh man, this guy Andy Dick is great. So it was great to meet you because I'm like, man, you look so much like your brother that I was like, man, who is this girl? I've seen her face before.
But you're
It's our
hilarious.
nose. Me and my dad have the same exact huge ass nose.
But it fits you. I
Well,
give you
thank
that.
You are very beautiful.
She is.
Thank you.
See,
Trying
my
to,
nose stick my face.
not at all. That nose is belonging on Humpty Hump, and we know that for a fact, KP. I have 1,000 jokes for KP's nose. One
That's
of them
the
is
Mr.
two
Potato
hand
Head
signs.
nose.
That is a Mr. Potato Head nose.
Now you want to take it off and put it back on real quick.
I just wanted to compliment like you gave.
I heard the nose. I heard that nose has a buddy pass. If you answer. So now let's get back to the question of comedy, KP. You were asking.
My question for comedians is how often when you ask other comedians, do they actually give help? Like I'm telling you, I watch a show, I'm dying up here, and then it seems very competitive. It seems like people aren't really as generous and helpful to give advice.
Well, let me give this. Well, number one, and I'm gonna say this. I don't want you to jump straight into your joint, Lulu. For me, I've been very fortunate throughout all the time I've been doing stand-up to meet so many great comedians that have offered advice and have tried to help me with helping words, how to break down things in my career, how to handle things, how to go about things, how to carry myself, and then you meet the comedians that are not. And unfortunately, a lot of the comedians who are not are the ones that you grew up watching, and you're like, oh man, if I ever met this guy, I would love to go be their opener or just hang around them for 5 minutes. And I met one of my very big comedy idols, and he gave me the vaguest of advice. I'm like, hey man, how do I get to even an ounce of where you are? And he's like, hey, just keep going. I'm like, get the fuck out of here with that keep going bullshit. Like when somebody asks me advice, I give them specific advice. Hey man, how how do I get on TV? Oh, I'll tell you right now. Either number one, you better find you some breakdowns and find you some auditions that fit you, get you some headshots and submit yourself, and then hopefully you're good. Take an acting class, get in there, that'll get you on TV. Or start meeting and hanging around producers or people who are on TV, and then you must run and get a spot on a TV show. Like, it's that simple, but I'm not going to tell you, hey man, you know, you gotta want it, like all that bullshit. But, so, how hard is it for you, Lulu, as you were saying?
Especially as a female, it was really hard in the beginning because when I first came to LA, I was doing stand-up in New York, but not like consistently. I was just like trying it out, you know what I'm saying? So when I came to LA, I was like, yo, this is it. This is what I'm going to do. And I remember meeting a couple comics, and the first thing they told me was like, I told him, I was like, look, I just, you know, give me some advice. How can I punch up my jokes or whatever? And he was like, how long you been doing stand-up? And I was like, well, like a couple months, a year. He's like, nah, don't talk to me. He's like, holler at me when you've been doing stand-up for more than 2 years because women usually quit.
Wow.
And from that point on, I didn't care if none of my jokes was funny. I didn't care if nothing was booking. I didn't care. I was like, I'm going to be doing this shit longer than for 3 years just so I can look him in the face and be like, now what? I'm still here. You going to help me? Fuck you. I don't need your help no more. So,
You know what, though? I know you're going to hate what I'm about to say.
Exactly.
We got to call it. I know
Go
you're
ahead,
gonna
Clayton,
hate
let's
this,
go.
But I'm glad he said that to you because if he wouldn't have said it, you might have quit.
To what you're saying, to what that comic told you, I can honestly say that there have been female comics that I've done the same thing. I was like, yo, you want to, whatever I know, I'll, you know, and we start off, we'll meet at Marty's or something, and then they taper off. A lot of them, and it's not even a diss, but a lot of, I'm not saying, maybe because it's just a lot harder for y'all to get through anywhere. So that could be one of the things. So it is commendable that when female comics come in and they get in there, they say, yo, I got that, but I'm about to keep pushing and do what I do. Because there is I mean, y'all have a lot to go through. It is. It's rough.
but honestly, it just left a bad taste in my mouth. You know what I'm saying? It was like, I understand that. I understand. He don't have to tell me that because I already know women. We always come last and everything. So we have to work harder. Nothing I'm not used to.
Right.
But my thing was like Clayton said, it was very vague. It was you didn't push me in any direction. You didn't help me. You didn't encourage me to keep going. You just kind of dissed me into keep going. And I don't like that kind of support. You could have did something else. You could have been like, you know what? You're new, but you know, let me see what you got, or at least take some kind of interest to encourage me, motivate me. I'm not asking for no money. I'm just asking for advice.
I'll give you this. I have met so many young women who have gotten to comedy and they've asked advice, and I 100% of the time give them advice. Hey, do this, make sure you don't do this. And the number one thing that I tell them is something that they're going to learn from other women comedians, and the other women comedians tell women, hey, don't fuck no comics. And I say, listen, you're gonna end up fucking comics. Don't listen to none of these bitter ass old women, because what happens is, as comedians and entertainers in general, you're gonna find people who are just like you, and you're gonna find that you guys have so many similarities, and the attraction is there because you get each other. As a woman in comedy, you're not gonna find too many men who are comfortable with you being out at all times of night or performing in front of these other men, and they're gonna be jealous. Meanwhile, another comedian will understand. Oh, go do your show. I'm not jealous. Blah blah blah. Do your thing. I see you when we both get home, or later after that. So that's the reason why you continue to meet the comedians in your field.
Yeah.
You said break?
Oh, sorry. I was giving you the reset.
Okay, cool. Ladies and gentlemen, you are listening to Kicking It with Clayton.
Sorry.
I am Clayton Thomas. You are kicking it with Lourdes, a.k.a. Lulu, Kenny Pettis Jr., a.k.a. Hollywood KP, the incredible London Brown. We got some beautiful ladies. We got my... What are some things that you deal with as struggles in comedy now? What are some of your struggles?
One of my personal struggles is having people, not enough people have been introduced to me yet. So it's like, shout out to Brandon Lewis. So sometimes me and Brandon Lewis, we'll go out to a show, and like Saturday's always like usually good nights.
Yeah.
But like let's say like a Thursday on the road. Thursdays on the road usually light, and it's just he and I was talking about this, which is like a real personal thing for me in the sense of, for me, all I want to do is go out, standing room only, lying around the corner. All of the reason for this is the plan. To do TV or sitcom, whatever it is, which is what I'm on, so that I'm in homes every day.
Yeah.
From there, bring that audience to the movie theater.
Yeah.
From the movie theater, bring that audience right back to the club. That's the layout, if you will. So that's what I dream about is when you, because right now, after you get a TV credit or something, your picture gets a little higher on the flyer.
Yep.
A little, the italics changes, and that's cool. But right now, ultimately, I don't speak for everybody, but like right now, we're closers. But when you put your name on the thing and then like ticket sales change, they gotta add extra shows. Now we like that's what I'm like. I just want to be heard. That's it. I just want the platform to be heard. So that's kind of that's my own personal struggle. Outside of that, with comedy,
Worst show. What is the worst performance you had and what happened?
One worst show.
And you know you got it because we all got this.
Is that question for everybody?
Oh yeah, I got to start with London. He's my guest.
I guess
I don't know if I want to answer.
I guess there was like one time, not one time, but this one show. And almost had two because I hosted the Comedy Union last Saturday, real quick. I'm at the Comedy Union, I'm hosting, and we're at the end of the show. I'm waiting for the tabs to come up or whatever, and I was just closing out whatever I was doing, and this older black woman coughed like she had been in prison and like like heavy. So we as comics we just address it. And I was like, "Yo, you okay?" And he's like, "Yeah." I was like, "Man, that cough was serious." And whatever the thing was, I started. I touched on it. I didn't even hit it with the Clayton. Clayton probably would have jabbed. Who else would have? I tapped her, and then she went back again. I was like, "Yo." Serious call. I say, "Yo, you good? I can get you something to drink." And her dude with the matching linen fit, she good. I was like, okay. So now I'm in my set and I'm going back and I kept going again. I was like, man, that voice, his voice had to match her thing. So I start going in on that. The dude stands up. I said, okay. I said, am I gonna have this story? Ooh. Of all the stories of comedies we have to do. I said, man, this is going to be the story. So he comes up. He said, what you say? I said, your wife, maybe I need some tea. I'll cover it. Now, on the inside, right, and some of my fellows was at this show. On the inside, I'm like, oh, man, I'm about to be a story.
Yeah.
So in the process of this, I'm very, very collected. Yeah. So the inside was like going through what it was going through, but on the outside, I was like, I can't run off the stage. Nope. That's gonna look crazy. Yeah. So I said, I'm gonna stand here. I'm gonna sit in my thing. He walks up. I said what you say. Now he's getting close to the stage. Mm-hmm. Security outside probably having a blunt. I don't know where he's at. So dude walks up. I said, yo, I don't know. It's all coming to me at the same time. I said, I'm gonna just stand here. I'm gonna keep chilling, control. You look more controlled, composed. So I said, yo, no, man. Say if you want something to drink, get you something to drink. That's all it is. Oh, all right. I was like, yeah, all right. And he had to come down to my level because I took control of it. So it was either meet him at a 10 or come down to it.
Did you think he could take you? Was he like a big nigga that could beat you up?
Well, let me tell you something about London Brown. London Brown is the oldest of all his siblings, and London has those hands.
So you've seen him throw them hands?
No, I have not, fortunately, seen him throw those hands, but I know energy. London Brown is not to be trifled with. You understand me? So all this nice guy, I'm on HBO. All that old man about to get that linen suit knocked off and turned into towels. You understand me?
But that was a close call. One time at the J Spot, and basically it was the end of the night, and I kept trying to force the jokes. And that's just never good.
That's never.
So I go to my Denzel. I said, all right, yeah, you guys are tired, but I got one for you. I said, boom. Make sure when you come back, you put the money back in the can. Good night, you guys. It was like, shh. Quiet. I was like, man, it got hot. And I was just like, yo, this wasn't the night. It didn't matter about the clothes. I didn't care for none of that. It just wasn't.
So now, give me this. Can I be what you say?
I was about to say, the thing I appreciate about comedians, when you have those nights, it's not the nights. Y'all just still keep it moving.
Well, some of us, the good ones do. Yeah. The bad ones always be like, oh, all right, well, let me just do 6 more, and then I'm going to go and get it. Like, fam, it's not happening. So
then you become radio engineers.
Say it again. You used to do comedy, man?
Is that what happened?
You used to do stand up here? Oh, with the sexy sultry voice. Hey guys,
That's too real.
Hey,
no, we're trying to fuck.
I'll give you one claim. Someone was telling me the hardest thing to do is when you don't have a good set and you stick around.
Yeah, I know.
You gotta hang in there and be like, yo, I'm here, and hey.
No.
You don't give me Skills. I've done it. Skills gave me one. He said, this shout out to Skills Hudson. He said, man, whenever you have a bad set, as long as you focus on getting up again, then you can get the bad one behind. You gotta just redeem yourself. So that was shout out to Skills, man.
Skills Hudson, I love that guy. So now, London, give me what. Actually, let's jump to this, man, because I gotta know. We're talking comedy. Who are your top 5 favorite comedians of all time, and why?
I think my top 5 would be, of course, Richard. I just think he's just the standard for it. Shout out to Patrice O'Neal, peace be upon him, out of Boston. The evolution of Chappelle.
Mm-hmm.
I would say Martin Lawrence.
Absolutely.
And probably David Arnold.
Ooh, nice.
TT, you were my top 3?
That's a great answer, and that's how you stay on the show.
Okay.
You stay on the show. Number 1, I have to, and this is in no particular order, Eddie Murphy. Eddie Murphy, to me, is the king of comedy to this day. Martin Lawrence is the person that made me want to be a comedian. So the fact that I'm on tour with this man blows my mind every city we go to. Third, I would have to say Dave Chappelle. He's made me laugh from my diaphragm. I have actually loved Dane Cook. Cook made me laugh so hard. I'm like, man, this dude is that funny. And then Monique is one of the funniest women I've ever seen in my life. She's been so funny that she's been not funny and been hilarious. Like when she's not trying to be funny, she just kills me. Then it goes to the route of the comedians that I come up with that are in my class. And I'm like, oh, I have to stay and watch them. I love watching London. I love watching B.T. Kingsley, Tony Baker. Lulu is a monster on stage. And the 5th person shall not be named because there will be a million of my peers that hate me.
So, you know your shit's gonna be blown up.
Oh, yeah. Oh, so I can't be in there.
I'm not your top 5.
But it's, London Brown.
Yeah,
This is one of my favorite segments called Star Sightings. This is where you tell me a story of a celebrity. Thank you for turning me up. I don't know what the fuck happened. And this is where you tell me a story of a celebrity that you met where one, the interaction was trash and they're horrible, and then you give me one where they were incredible. Different celebrity. Go ahead.
I will say, especially one I guess would probably be Chris. Chris was something for me when I first met Chris.
Yeah.
The very first I met Chris around maybe like 3 occasions. The very first time I met him was at the Savoy. We got a quick call. It was like me, Brandon, Lewis, Chinadu, HP, and a few of us. Somewhere the word got around that Chris was gonna be at the Savoy. So I was like, all right, bet. So when I had a chance to meet him, from watching movies and all the impersonations in high school, that was a really dope thing for me that particular day. The other times was just I just saw him as a person, but that first time I was like, yo, it was something special for me. So, and then working with Dwayne, sometimes I forget how the magnitude of his status, because when we're in a working environment, there aren't any fans around, so it's just very casual. And then you go on Instagram, and be like, this dude's bigger than life. And speaking of which, I haven't met him yet, but I have this post I was going to do, which is, to be honest with you, we all thought we were living life and living it to the max until you look at Will Smith.
Oh, yeah.
You be like, you want to take your career and your life, say, I got to start. Oh, what? I'm not doing it to the max.
Killing it.
That's a whole other thing. But if I can meet Will, that'd probably be another great story. But those were about the 2 that I thought were.
He's pure magic.
I know.
Tell you about Will Smith, man. First of all, Will Smith is the epitome of what everybody wants. The character of Will Smith is who you want to be.
Exactly.
Okay? I don't know the real Will Smith. I don't know if he gets angry, but the character of Will, I'm like, oh, that guy's the best. When I met Will Smith, I was like, hey man, it was like one of those things where it was a Q&A for his movie Concussion that came out. My lady Tan took us to go see it. It was great. And I get up and I said, Will, I didn't see a Will Smith movie. Like, I came to see a Will Smith movie and I saw this. Like, that's how great you did in this movie. He's like, thank you, man. I was like, yeah, hey man, I gotta ask because I've always wanted to meet you. Can my lady and I get a picture with you? He was like, yeah, absolutely. He wasn't taking pictures with nobody else. He gets up. You know how you do the hand thing where you put your hand on somebody's shoulder to take a picture? I was like, this doesn't even feel like a person. This is a rock hard cloud. Like, this guy is pure magic. I don't even think, I felt like when the picture came out of my phone, I felt like I wouldn't even see me next to somebody. He was that magic.
wow.
And he's such a great guy that you just feel as like a better person being around him. And that's how Will Smith is. London Brown, what's coming up next for you, brother? How can we find you?
I'm at Real London Brown, at Real London Brown if you're local. I'll be at the Laugh Factory tomorrow. I'm not sure. Oh, this might be on a little later. I'm on the road. I'm back and forth on doing some dates. So, and I hosted the Comedy Union on Saturday nights, man. So I'm around. Follow me on the gram, man.
Nice. Ladies and gentlemen, you can catch my show, Family Time, on Bounce TV. If you don't have Bounce TV, just Google bouncetv.com or Google Family Time TV show. You can catch my TV show there. You can catch me on your Hulus, your Netflixes, whatever show that I've been on that is on there now. I'm on tour with Martin Lawrence, the Lit as Fuck tour, coming to a city near you. We got Birmingham coming up, New Orleans, Detroit, Cleveland. Also, make sure you are following your boy. You go to IamClaytonThomas.com. That's where you can find all your merchandise, Clayton Thomas. You can find videos, how to follow me, contact me, I contact you back. I want to thank the most amazing engineer I could have, which is my man Darren. I want to thank my cameraman Omar Ellison for killing the game. I want to appreciate my girl Cassandra Dang, who is definitely an amazing producer. I want to thank everybody for being here. Ladies and gentlemen, when I look around this room, I see nothing but talented, incredible, creative people. And when I talk into this microphone, I am speaking to some incredible cats as well. Ladies and gentlemen, as always, you kicking it with Clayton. It's your boy!